So Formula One, the Mexico Grand Prix, as it is a playground of Max Verstappen, because he's won there 5 times. And if you look at the other drivers like Jim Clark, Lewis Hamilton, they've won only 2 times. He's won it 5 times in Mexico: 2017, 2018, 2021, 2022, 2023. He's been super dominant in Mexico, and he could have won it 2019 as well because he got pole position, but I think he was scraped of that pole because of yellow flag or something like that he ignored or something like that. So, but yeah, he's had a brilliant, journey, and how well he's done in Mexico, how amazing he was over the years. So, can he do it again this weekend? Yes, he can, of course. But at the same time, Red Bull, they've been looking strong. They've been looking quick in the last couple of races. They've since this summer break. I mean, before the summer break, McLaren was the fastest by far. But I think that after the summer break, Red Bull have been the fastest. And I know people say that, oh, what are you talking about? McLaren are still quick. Listen, I'm not saying McLaren are now they're the second best car. I think Red Bull are the best car right now. And yes, you could say the other driver, other than Verstappen, is not doing well as Verstappen, but I think the pace of the car and how well Red Bull have been quick. Red Bull have been the best car since the summer break. You have to say that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the number of wins they've had in the last couple of races and the gap they've had. But this doesn't take away from the brilliance of Max Verstappen, because he's been absolutely exceptional. The level of consistency, his form since the summer break is exceptional. He's only finishing the top 2, whether that was in the race or the sprint. So quality performances from him and quality results. And that puts him in a championship fight, back in a championship fight, as he's 40 points behind Piastri. Lando Norris is 14 points behind Oscar Piastri. It's a 3-horse race. I think Verstappen has a chance now to win the title, in my opinion. Red Bull, like I said, I expect him to be strong in Mexico, as it is a track that Verstappen usually does well. Even in the days where he was young and he was starting in his first years at Red Bull, he was doing well in Mexico. So, yeah, McLaren, it's not their strongest track. I think Oscar Piastri got knocked out in Q1 there last year, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not a strong track it's not a track that McLaren usually do well. So let's see how they go about it. Ferrari were very strong last season there. However, this year's car is terrible compared to last year's car. So I don't expect them to compete for the win as they were last season. I don't think a podium is possible. Or maybe podium is possible, because we didn't think that they would turn it around in Austin, and they turned around and they finished 3rd and 4th. So maybe a podium, but other than that, I don't expect something crazy special from Ferrari. Mercedes, I got Mercedes hat on. Maybe I expected a bit better from George in Austin, but you can clearly see the pace of the car is not as strong as it was compared to, let's say, Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren. So let's see how well they do this weekend. And McLaren, I don't expect it's not the strongest track, in my opinion, for them. So I think Red Bull should be quick, should be strong this weekend. So yeah, and if you look at the other midfield teams, who is going to be the best of the rest? I mean, Williams, they look quite good, and they look okay in Austin. They got a sprint podium, but in the race they were not that good. Kick Sauber, I mean, Hulkenberg did really well in the sprint qualifying and in the race. So I think Kick Sauber can continue the good form they had in Austin towards this weekend. Alpine, I don't expect anything special from them. I don't know. By the way, I don't know why Alpine were using team orders in the Austin Grand Prix. Why? Or compared to the whole position, the guy is fighting for his career, for his life in Formula One, and you tell him about team orders and that kind of stuff. I mean, the bottom, and they're not gonna get any points. So I don't really understand. I really don't understand, seriously. Aston Martin, they looked okay in Austin, but not that special. But let's see what happens. Let's see what they're gonna do. Ben has been decent form recently. He's been in good form. He got in the points in Singapore, and I think he also got in the points for Austin as well. So he's been in very very good form. And yeah, Williams, like I said, I don't expect something like they did okay in Austin, but not great. But let's see what they're gonna do this weekend this time. And it's a track that Carlos Sainz won it last year, so let's see how he's gonna do this time. V Cup, they've been okay in the last couple of races. So after Zandvoort, so yeah, I think the best of the rest is difficult to say who's going to be the best of the rest. It could be Williams, it could be Aston Martin, it could be Kick Sauber. It's 50-50. I think there's one team that is guaranteed to not be the best of the rest, and that's Alpine. That's for sure. So yeah, and then yeah, you look at the drivers like Oscar Piastri, like Lando Norris. Oscar. Max, I expect him to be strong. If you look at in terms of the championship, obviously this is a huge race for those three. Max Verstappen, I expect him to be strong. Lando Norris, he finished second last year, but like I said, the McLaren pace is not as strong as it was used to be, and it's not always strong in Mexico. But he's been gaining points on Oscar Piastri in the last couple of races. However, even though he's been gaining points, I mean, I think since the summer break he's not won a race, Lando Norris. So that's not something great to see on him. And yes, he's not won for a while, but he's been gaining points. Is he the favourite for the championship? I don't know. I mean, Max is there. In my opinion, the guy who's leading the championship is always the favourite. In my opinion. Listen, the favourite doesn't mean he's going to win it, of course. Because we've seen that in the past. But I think the guy who's leading the championship should be the favourite. I think Oscar Piastri is still the favourite because he's leading the championship. Because other than that, then listen, if this race, let's say Lando Norris wins this race and Oscar Piastri has a DNF and Lando's leading the championship, then I'd say Lando is the favourite. But for now, if you're leading the championship, then it's in your hands. So you're the favourite to do it. So yeah. But I expect, Lando, he was strong in Mexico in 2023 when he had a good comeback, I think he got knocked out Q1 and then he came back to finish 4th or 5th or something like that, but he had a great performance in that year in 2023 in Mexico. Last year he finished 2nd, considering, McLaren pace were not that strong to Ferrari in that race. And then obviously there was the famous battle, the famous battle between Verstappen and Lando Norris last season in Mexico, and obviously Verstappen got that 22nd time penalty, outstanding penalty. But is he going to do something similar to that last season to this time? I don't know, but he's fighting for the championship, so I think he's going to do everything he can to win. That's for sure. But I expect, Oscar Piastri's not been in good form, but I expect him to bounce back. And I think whenever he's finished, if I'm not mistaken, whenever he's finished 8th at a track that it was last season, like he finished 8th last season in China, he finished 8th in Bahrain last season, he's went on to win that race. So I expect him to come back strong, and he finished Mexico last season. So I expect him to come back strong. I expect him to be up there. I expect him to be, competitive and be up there for the victory. So yes, he's not been in good form, but in this kind of races, form goes out of the window, and he's still leading the championship. I mean, people are, saying like, he's crumbling under pressure and he's starting to crumble and this and that. No, like, yeah, yes, of course, when you're in that touching distance and you are so close to winning that championship, of course you're going to feel the pressure. But for the people to say, he's bottling the championship, he's starting to crumble, he's still leading the championship, my friend. He's still leading the championship. He's not bottled it. Yeah, if he loses the championship at the end, when he's been leading it for 90% of the season, then yeah, you could say that. But he's still leading the championship. He's not bottled anything. Yeah, he's not been in good form, but he's still leading the championship. Unexpected to be still leading the championship after this weekend. So, because if Lando wins and let's say Oscar finishes 4th, which he should, or top 4, he's still in the championship. So, but he needs to also get back to where he was at the start of the season, because if he keeps performing like this, then he's gonna get caught out, and he's aware of that. He's aware that Max and Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are catching on him. So yeah, But yeah, my predictions. Pole position, I'm going for Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen is going to go pole position. And then the race, it's difficult. I mean, Verstappen is usually strong in Mexico, but at the same time, are McLaren going to improve? Are they going to be better? I think McLaren are going to bounce back. Actually, I think they're gonna bounce back. I really think so. So yeah, pole position. No, I'm gonna change my prediction, and pole position I'm going for pole position Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen will get pole position, and then the race. I think McLaren will do well. I think they will dominate. I think they will come back strong. I think first position I'm going for Oscar Piastri. I think Oscar Piastri will win. Second position I'm going for Lando Norris, and third position Max Verstappen. And that's my prediction. I think McLaren are going to come back and strong. I know this is not a track that they usually do well, but I expect them to bounce back, considering they've not been in good form recently. And yes, they've not been the best car since the summer break, because Red Bull have been the best car. But I expect them to bounce back this weekend. So yeah, that's my prediction. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a good day, and see you next time. Bye.